Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to you all to the November Additional Council meeting to elect our Mayor and Deputy Mayor for Greater Shepparton City Council for our new incoming councillors. I do acknowledge that this is the councillors' first official meeting since being elected a couple of weeks ago. I now declare the meeting open at 1 p.m. Before we commence the meeting formalities today, we, Greater Shepparton City Council, acknowledge the Order peoples of the land, which now comprises Greater Shepparton, pay our respects to their tribal elders, we celebrate their continuing culture and we acknowledge the memory of their ancestors. Councillors, we're now moving on to item 2 of the agenda, the privacy notice, which I will read out. This public meeting is being streamed live via our Facebook page and will be made available for public access on our website, along with the official minutes of this meeting. All care is taken to maintain your privacy. However, as a visitor in the public gallery, it is assumed that your consent is given in the event that your image is broadcasted to the public. It is also assumed that your consent is given to the use and disclosure of any information that you share at the meeting, including personal or sensitive information, to any person who accesses those recordings or minutes. Councillors, we're now moving on to item 3, governance principles. I'll get you to note the governance principles that are listed on page 5 of the agenda. Moving on to item 4, apologies. I note there are no apologies for today's meeting. We'll now move on to item 5, declarations of conflicts of interest. So, councillors, I'm just asking, are there any declarations of conflicts of interest with any of the matters to be discussed? No? Councillors, we're now moving on to page 7 of the agenda, item 6.1, the councillor's statement of expectation for the role of Mayor of Greater Shepparton City Council. The recommendation is that Council adopt the councillor's statement of expectation for the role of Mayor of Greater Shepparton City Council. Is there a mover of the motion?
I'd like to move that motion.
Councillor Brophy, thank you. Is there a seconder?
I'll second.
Councillor Summer. Councillor Brophy, would you like to speak to the motion?
Thank you. The recommendation reads that the Council adopt the Council's statement of expectations for the role of Mayor of Greater Shepparton City Council. And the purpose of this particular report is to review and adopt the Councillor's statement of expectations for the role of Mayor. The Mayor is the leader of the Council and has a number of roles that are both legislative and functional. And reading through it, there's a number of pages. I won't go through it all because we'll be here for most of the day, but it is a very big role. It talks about the role and the authority, the accountability and the expectation. It talks about the experience qualifications, the personal attributes, the performance criteria, legislation, organisational context, and a raft of different things that the Mayor is responsible for throughout the period of that term.
Councillor Brophy. Councillor Summer, would you like to speak to the motion?
No, thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Summer. Are there any other councillors who would like to speak for the motion? Are there any councillors who would like to speak against the motion? No? Okay, we will now take a vote. All those in favour? Carried, unopposed. Councillors, we're now moving to item 6.2 on page 15 of the agenda. Election of the Mayor. Please note there are 2 recommendations here relating to the election of the Mayor, and we'll treat both the recommendations separately. So the first recommendation is for that the Mayor term be set for a period of 1 year. Can I have a mover of that motion?
Yes, I'll move that. Thank you.
Councillor Brophy.
Can I move a recommendation that the Mayor term be set for a period of 2 years?
Okay.
Point of order, that's not the recommendation. 1 year on there.
Councillor can move an alternative motion at that point.
But not, he said he's going to move the recommendation.
Oh, he said he was going to move the recommendation?
So you would be moving the motion?
Just moving a motion?
Yes.
Yes, moving a motion. Okay. Is there any councillor who'd like to second the motion? Thank you, Councillor Akers. Councillor Brophy, would you like to speak for the motion?
The fact that set it up for 2 years, I've looked across a number of different councils across Victoria, and there are a number of councils that have either a period of 2 years or 1 year. 2 years gives a bit of stability to the council in allowing the leader to move forward and to make sure that everything's stable, particularly in the climate that we've been in with a number of councils nearby.
Thank you, Councillor Brophy. Councillor Akers, would you like to speak to the motion?
Oh, look, I'd support what Councillor Brophy said. It also allows the person that may be elected to set their own personal affairs up to plan and their own staffing arrangements that may be required, which is obviously a very important factor when it comes to taking on such a role as a full-time position to lead Greater Shepparton. So I'd support it being a two-year term at this point in time.
Thank you, Councillor Akers. Are there any other councillors who'd like to speak for the motion? Are there any councillors who'd like to speak against the motion? Councillor Spinks.
Thank you. What nonsense. So I guess we're starting our council term this way. I had no one come to me explaining there was going to be a different recommendation put to the council, so this is hitting me flat in the face right now. As we argued in the last council term, there's no need for this to be a 2-year term. If we choose to re-elect the mayor at the time for a second year, that's up for debate in a year's time, and there's no harm in that in any way. By setting it for 2 years, basically you're cutting everybody else out of the ability to step into these leadership roles. It will basically mean that there is only 2, if not 3 at best, that are able to have this opportunity. We're all here for 4 years at the best. We can't guarantee what will happen after that, and we're essentially cutting off our nose to spite our face. I don't understand what the intention is behind moving this for 2 years. I don't understand the logic behind it. Again, I was not included in this deliberation, and I would, I guess, foreshadow a motion proposing this only be made for 1 year, but we'll see how this turns out. I expect conversations have been had that I wasn't privy to, so we'll see how this turns out. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Spinks. So we will deal with the current motion, which is around the 2-year period. Councillor Brophy, would you like a right of reply?
No, thank you.
Do we all get a chance to speak?
Apologies. Sorry. We think we've had those speaking for, those speaking against, and any other councillor want to speak against.
What for? For them.
Against the motion. Yes. No?
I would like to speak to the motion, if that's okay.
Yes, welcome to. Sorry.
I think 1 year's quite sufficient with a new team. I think the dynamic is yet to settle. We're not sure how we're going to interact and work with each other just yet. There has never been a 2-year term in my whole 12 years except for the last mayoral election, and that was extenuating circumstances when we'd had COVID and the floods. We needed stability. We couldn't come together to actually work out if there was going to be a successor, and I just think that it's a bit risky to put someone in for 2 years. They could be the best mayor on earth. It's not about the personalities for me, it's about the process. I think 1 year is sufficient. It's a safe call, and yes, I tend to agree with Councillor Spinks.
Thank you, Councillor Sommer. Councillor Brophy, would you now like to have a right of reply?
No, other than the fact that it's just my view in the way that I've seen things.
Thank you, Councillor Brophy. So we will now call for a vote for the current motion, which is around setting the mayoral term for 2 years. So can I have a show of hands in favour of that motion, please? So that's 7 in favour. Those against? 2. So that motion is carried. Thank you very much, councillors. We'll now move on to the second part of the recommendation, and I will now call for nomination to fill the role of mayor. So can I have a nomination, please? Councillor Brophy?
I would like to nominate Councillor Shane Sarley.
Councillor Brophy. Councillor Sarley, do you accept that nomination?
I do, thank you, Fiona.
Thank you. Are there any other calls for or nominations for mayor? No? As there are no other nominations, I would now like to congratulate Councillor Sarley as duly elected mayor for Greater Shepparton City Council for the next 2 years. Mayor Sarley to come and assume the seat, and he is welcome to address the meeting as incoming mayor.
Now it's two on.
Okay.
Over here now.
All right, guys, thanks, Fee. Yeah, to be honest, it's been a pretty big couple of days, and I won't lie that it's an absolute honour to be elected as a starting point and then to be considered for a leadership role. But what's most pleasing today is that I do sit with a team of councillors, a CEO and executive team who are passionate to not only see what's possible, but who also think practically about how to make it happen. And just this first week, it has been clear that we are a team, and I'm proud to be your mayor. For just over 2 years, I had the honour of serving as mayor, and I'll be honest, when the floods hit, I was thrown straight into it. But as a community, we did it. We came together, the good people came together and worked hard through the crisis, supported one another, and we came out the other end stronger. The journey to this time has me immersed in wanting to learn the ropes fast, to be able to know the system and work it to deliver for our region. People are already commenting that this team is a team of real-world thinkers with a variety of skills. You listen to the people, you understand what they need, you know what it takes to run a successful business, keep the lights on, and to ensure people stay employed. Because this is what truly builds and sustains a community, and that's what excites me most. We are a united team with a shared commitment to deliver for our region. This group of new councillors has energised and inspired me even more. We're already on the same page, working toward common goals like attracting investment, protecting our water resources, showcasing our natural environment, promoting our region, and capitalising on a strong visitor economy. All of this will create an economic impact across our region, bringing health, wealth, and prosperity to every corner of our community. I know the processes, I know how to navigate the obstacles and distractions, I understand how the system works, and what's clear to me is that you want to be a can-do council that gets things done. With my experience and knowledge, I'm confident that we can effectively work to deliver what the region demands. Collectively, let's make it happen. Thank you. Councillors, we go to page 18 of the agenda, item 6.3, election of deputy mayor. There is a recommendation. Can I have a councillor put that forward as a motion?
I'd like to change the recommendation to point 1, elect a deputy mayor for a term of only 1 year. Thank you, Mayor Saley.
Thank you, Councillor Schubert. Can I have a councillor second that motion, please? Councillor Akers. Thank you. Councillor Schubert, would you like to speak to the motion?
Oh, no, look, there's, as we're well aware, there's 5 new councillors. Some of us...
Sorry, point of clarification. The second point of the motion wasn't read out. Does that need to also...
I was going to come to him, yeah, for point 2. Deal with point 1 first, and I'll come to you to move point 2 if you would like to, or do you want to do them together?
I'll do them together then.
Okay, so I'll get you to move the motion in total 1 and 2 together then.
Right, I'll move the motion in terms of elect a deputy mayor for a term of 1 year. And if during the term there is a vacancy in the office of the mayor, or the mayor is absent, incapable of acting or refusing to act, then provided the deputy mayor is available, the council hereby appoints the deputy mayor to be the acting mayor in accordance with section 20B(1) of the Local Government Act 2020.
Thank you, Councillor Schubert. Can I have a councillor second that? Are you happy to do that again, Councillor Akers? Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Schubert, would you like to speak to the motion?
No, I'm fine. Thank you, Mayor Saley.
Councillor Akers, would you like to speak to the motion?
Oh, look, I think it's appropriate at this point in time we elect the deputy for a 1-year term. It lets the new councillors feel their way around the council, understand the role with greater understanding, and see who they want to put forward for potentially understanding the role. It lets, I think it gets more responsibility than obviously just the councillor, but it also lets us probably try a few different people role in the deputy position during the term, and that's for sure, and I think that's appropriate when we want to look at future leaders for our community.
Thank you, Councillor Akers. Are there any councillors that would like to speak against the motion? Are there any councillors that would like to speak for the motion? No. Councillors, we will now go to the vote. All those in favour? Motion carried, unopposed. Councillors, we now go to the second part of that recommendation, which is the Mayor will call for nominations for a councillor to fill the position of the Deputy Mayor. Do I have any nominations? Councillor Schubert.
I would like to nominate Councillor Anthony Brophy for the term of Deputy Mayor for 1 year.
Thank you, Councillor Schubert. Councillor Brophy, do you accept that?
Yes, Mayor Sarley.
Councillors, do I have any other nominations? Councillor Wickham.
I'd like to nominate myself.
Councillor Wickham. Presume you accept that?
Yep.
Wickham. Do I have any other councillors that would like to nominate?
Yes, thank you. I'd like to nominate Councillor Summer.
Thank you. Councillor Spinks, Councillor Summer, do you accept that nomination?
Yes, thank you.
Great, thank you. There has been 3 nominations, so in order of nomination, those councillors will now have up to 5 minutes to speak. Councillor Brophy.
Thank you, Mayor Sarley. Good afternoon, everyone. I find it so very healthy that there is interest shown by councillors in advocating for the role of Deputy Mayor. It's such a positive thing to have on council. And it's really not about having a go at one another or character assassinations or anything like that, nor is it about playing games. Leadership is a role which is an honour and a privilege, and it comes with responsibility and great expectation. Leadership is not a game, nor to be treated like you're in grade 2 where everyone gets a prize. A leader needs to lead. A leader is one who encourages others over themselves. That is important in this role, but it's also important to me. My strength is in communication, in listening and in engaging, in wanting to achieve the same goals as others, but I bet it might be through a different path. I firmly believe that I am the right person to be the Deputy to Mayor Shane Sarley for the next 12 months. We have worked well together before, especially as Mayor and Deputy during the biggest disaster our region faced with the flood event in 2022. Leaders needed to stand up at that time, and I believe that I showed the trait in the face of adversity. But beyond that, I have been a catalyst for getting changes made and projects underway here at Council. I have fought hard to be able to achieve the outcomes for this community, and I will fight hard as Deputy to ensure that our region gets our fair share of funding, our fair share of attention, and becomes the most sought after regional centre in Victoria. I have the experience, I have the work ethic, the commitment to the role, the drive and enthusiasm, and the absolute passion that this role requires. Being Deputy is a major supporting role to the Mayor and encompasses all that that role entails and the expectations that go with it. As Deputy in the past, I have queried the Mayor, whether that was Kim O'Keefe or Shane Sarley, questioned their decisions and raised points of view. That is what a good Mayor that is what a good Deputy Mayor does, to be the sounding board for the Mayor, to be available at a moment's notice, to stand in when the Mayor is committed, elsewhere or unavailable. Therefore, I can hit the ground running in that role and support our Mayor. I know the fundamentals in negotiation and the procedure of council. We have a federal election looming in early 2025, a state election within 2 years, and advocacy, lobbying and understanding the politics, the election process and how to tap into election commitments is imperative. You need leaders in the position who have worked in that environment and understand the nuances to be able to achieve the best outcomes for our region. I have that background, and in the leadership role can assist greatly our Mayor, our CEO and Council to put ourselves forward and under the noses of those who make decisions. My track record speaks volumes about who I am and my commitment to the role. My coffee cup reads, "Decisions are made by those who show up." That I have done and that I will continue to do. I thank fellow councillors for your consideration of my nomination for Deputy Mayor of this great council, and I ask for your vote today. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Brophy. Councillor Wickham, would you like to speak?
Thanks, Shane. I'd like to say I agree with everything you said in your speech. Obviously, coming into this new system where we've redistributed the wards for Greater Shepparton, it's been fantastic to see 4 old, experienced faces return, but also 5 new faces come in. I see this leadership role as an opportunity to forge a greater relationship between all the wards and really hit the ground running, and I look forward to having the opportunity to support you and the council obviously as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Wickham. Councillor Summer, would you like to speak?
Oh, thank you, Mayor Sally. Good afternoon, councillors, and thank you so much for nominating me, Sam. I love it. For the purpose of this debate, I'll probably be repeating a lot of what I've already told you informally, so just bear with me. But I think I'm your logical choice for deputy because I offer 12 years experience. You've seen me during forums. I am across the issues. I present myself well and I do my homework. Some of you may not think I'm a conventional choice, but I already am a councillor. I've already served as deputy mayor and I know our governance rules back to front. I was deputy under a very conservative council in my first term and had the opportunity to chair meetings. The fact I was elected deputy for 2 consecutive years, that's 2 years in a row, that demonstrates that I did do the job well. And by electing me, you'd be tapping into a lot of knowledge and experience. Having a male and female leader at the helm is a good look. It will go some way toward correcting the gender imbalance driven by the ward system. It's an inconvenient fact to some that over half our population are women. So I represent many people that you do not, such as your wives, daughters, sisters, mothers, single parents in general, as well as the nursing health sector. I do not intend to rock the boat this term. All I want is for every sitting councillor to reach their full potential. I have the skills to support all of you in becoming the best that you can be. If you want me to advocate for water, more industrial land in Tatura, improved infrastructure in Kidstown, I'll do it. And once we've all found our feet, I would expect a new councillor to take on the role. But right now I offer continuity and stability to steady the ship while we begin our journey. Of course, there are pragmatic benefits to being deputy mayor, but I would be fighting for this position regardless of remuneration. And I'm even willing to negotiate my day job hours to demonstrate my commitment to the role. My boys are old enough to be more independent, which will free up my evenings. Time is not an issue. At the beginning of last term, we all agreed that deputy mayor is a wonderful training ground for councillors to gain experience and should be shared around as much as possible. Unfortunately, since state government increased the deputy mayor allowance, these elections have become much more competitive. Now, I respect Councillor Brophy very much, but he was deputy mayor twice last term, and now it's time to make space and pass that baton. My other opponent has great reasons for wanting to step up. Councillor Wickham is absolutely right that electing him will help restore trust in Mooroopna. It's wonderful to see so much engagement from that side of the bridge, and I hope it continues. I also have strong ties in Mooroopna after working at the medical centre for many years. The good people of Mooroopna do trust me, and Noah will continue to represent all of Greater Shepparton. I'd go so far as to argue the ward system has given Mooroopna 3 representatives because I do include myself in that mix. So I am the most experienced, I represent the broader public, I have the skills to support you all and do expect a new councillor to take the position once the dust has settled. You won't regret electing me because I intend to both step back politically as well as put one big positive foot forward to make a good impression. It's been 10 years since I was deputy and I've come a long way. I believe I rightfully deserve to take on the role and I hope I get your support.
Very good. Thank you, Councillor Summer. Okay, councillors, in order of nomination, we will go to the vote. Those in favour of Councillor Brophy?
Yeah, you got it.
That is a majority of 5 votes. I would like to formally announce Councillor Anthony Brophy as Deputy Mayor of Greater Shepparton. Would you like to say something, Brophy? Councillor Brophy? Sorry.
Thank you, Mayor Sarley. Firstly, thank you. I'm humbled and I'm very privileged to be afforded the honour of Deputy Mayor. It's not a bestowed position that I take lightly, indicated in my speech. It means an awful lot to me. Thank you to my fellow councillors, for those who voted for me and all those who did not vote for me as well. As I've said to you all, no matter what decision is made today with respect to leadership, we come together and we move forward in unison. That's the way it always should be and has worked well. I'm looking forward to working alongside Mayor Sarley. He has demonstrated strong and unequivocal leadership over the past 2.5 years and is a great ally to him in his role. Make no mistake, I will challenge him on issues and direction, but all for the good. To my family and friends who know the personal hardships I have endured, their love and encouragement has gotten me here today. I am reminded of the incredible Elena Dokic, who, as guest speaker here the other night in Shepparton, said, kindness is everything. And that is so very true. And it is also important to be someone's Todd. Those who are there know what I mean. And I'm lucky enough to have that. To the Kyle Award, my home, to whom I now proudly represent, thank you for having faith in me to represent you and support you, not only the Kyle, but also across Greater Shepparton, the support I've received there. Thank you. Thank you to John, Jen and the executive leadership at my employment and my amazing team at work for their enormous backing of me to be able to do the role to the best of my ability. We have challenges going forward. We have a team of councillors who I know collectively will work hard to get the best outcomes for this region, be it for better roads, transport connectivity, water security, safer communities, livable communities, affordable housing, appropriate zoning for residential, commercial, industrial and farming. A second river crossing is crucial. GV Link is an enormous future. The Shepparton Sports and Events Centre needs to get going. We need protection and support for our horticulture and agricultural sectors. They need to not only be maintained but be promoted. Sporting events and festivals is what brings our visitor economy here. That is the lifeblood of our hospitality and accommodation industry. We need to continue with that and to bring far more sporting events and festivals here. We can capture better and promote our Indigenous and multicultural heritage that we are renowned for. So much richness here in the Golden Valley. Greater Shepparton is vibrant, is energised and has a massive future. This is a great place to live, this is a great place to be, and I sincerely thank you for your support today as your new Deputy Mayor. Thank you.
Councillors, we go to the last page, 21, item 7, close of meeting, which I'll do now at 1:28 p.m. Thank you.